So I wanted to, just for fun, but at the same time, something that came up, and I was looking into my chart because I was like, most of my life I felt um, like nervousness and like I get gassy. So little TMI. But so I looked into astrology for fun. I know that all it takes is real presence, and when I say real presence, I mean stillness. Like right now, I'm more aware now. It's like, it's something growing. It's not like Eckhart, where he was kind of more like, apparently his was like, and for most people, it's going to be kind of like a cycle. But eventually, we can become more aware and awakened. But I wanted to go through my chart, and just astrology is kind of to show what's already there. And I kind of want to just do this, for the sake of nothing. It's just really just having fun. So here we go. All right, so according to my chart, so the sun is, we're going to go through basically like, technically this is like medical astrology, but the way I understand it is the, or in terms of my vitality, in terms of my energy, what kind of gives me all that stuff. We all know that it's the sun, right? It rules actually the heart and the back, which explains a lot of times when I'm not only imbalanced, but also when, what was this? When Libra is, what was this here? When Libra is, so like overindulging, or rather working too much and staying up late. Yeah, that affects the whole like function of specifically like my kidneys, liver, but like endocrine system. I'm not sure what endocrine system is. I think it's the right here or something like that. Something to do with balance, right? Which makes sense. Endocrine system. Actually, you know what? I'm going to look it up quickly here, because what is the endocrine system? As I do this, I'm going to talk. Okay, so the endocrine system is basically the anything to do with the pineal gland, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, thyroid, thymus, pancreas, adrenal glands, testes, or male, as in cisgender male. Of course, that changes when it's no longer cisgender. But the point is that feeling something energy going up here. Interesting. So pituitary gland. Okay, so I think a lot to do with something to do with balance. I think that's more Mars. But in any case, so yeah, so that's the heart and the back. But Libra rules the kidneys. But I don't have problems. I usually drink water. I pamper myself. I take lots of rest, but not too much, just enough. But the one I was thinking about worrying about was Mercury and Uranus right here, because Mercury and Uranus rules the nervous system. Because Uranus is always about sudden changes. In medical astrology, it is erratic function, nervous tensions. So sudden events like hemorrhages, which explains my Meniere's. And when it comes to nervousness, like Mercury also rules not the nervous system only, but because it was in Scorpio, Scorpio rules. I want to get this clear here. Genitals, bladder, rectum. Okay. No, I've never really had that, but definitely something to do with Mercury nervous system and Chiron. So Chiron is karmic diseases. So I realized that it's like, okay, but then I was looking into Scorpio. I was like, well, isn't that the genital stuff, kind of like Pluto? But Pluto is also um, karmic in terms of medical astrology. And I thought, oh, Chiron, Taurus. Taurus rules the ears. So it makes sense that I have to balance those things and come to terms with what I need to learn from what I decided to do in the past. Like when I was like stressed, I would listen to loud music. I would overindulge. I would eat too much. I wouldn't exercise. So that in turn affected my getting diagnosed with Meniere's disease, which is an imbalance in the inner ear. If that makes sense. So now I take care of myself and I try to exercise but not eat too much. Just pamper myself enough where it's not just physically but also, I guess you can say holistically. I don't know if that's the right term, but yeah. Okay, so this really comes into, this makes me understand it a little bit more, that, that reveals a lot of it, what I technically already have experienced. um, and But I'm able to learn through those lessons through Venus. And Venus also rules kidneys. So by that means that if it's Venus, what do they say about it here? Fluid retention. Fluid retention. So when you have too much sodium, salt is a source of them, but so any sort of source of sodium. Sodium itself, natrium, retains fluid. So retains any liquid. So if I have too much, then that means that, right? So if I don't flush it out, which is through the kidneys, which is water, or rather flushing it out, it retains itself in right here. I think it's to the vestibular, something like that. Something like that. So, but I have to also learn to work with the nervous tension and say, it's okay to have what I do. Like I usually I consume between 1200 to 1500 milligrams of sodium. And I've been really okay. The past few days, past few week actually, it's the lightheadedness came back, but just a little bit more than lightheadedness. And whenever I do yoga, I'm like, I get dizzy. So it's more than just lightheadedness. It's just only for a few seconds, but still, like those few seconds are enough to remind me that it's like, wait a second. There's also something I should also balance and specifically reduce, which is stress, right? I work out, but I don't need to have stress. I can relate with people because this is also fourth house stuff, my family, but I shouldn't stress about it. I do what I can and communicate. This is why also I don't push too hard. This is that's also I learned that, when I'm Mercury in Scorpio is also Uranus in Scorpio. It has a tendency to push because it wants to be understood. It's part of the egoic process. Like, this is part of being human, right? Your form, identification of form, is basically kind of what you can say that your birth chart is kind of like that. But in any case, so that's what I found that was very interesting. But also because it was, you see Mercury and Uranus right here, square moon, and moon also, yes, it's about moods and all that stuff, but moon rules physiological processes, genealogical conditions pass through the matriarchal line. So nervousness, for sure. Also because moon was in Aquarius. And we all know that in Aquarius, that's a bit of a nervous energy there. So shins and ankles, circulatory system, pineal gland, pineal gland is the that system, the endocrine system, which links back to what is it, Uranus? Is it so? Or Mercury? Or was it one of the signs? Endocrine system. I think it was Libra, something like this. Either way, the point is, there's that nervousness that I've been, can say, inherited. But transformation through the 8th house means that I get to learn from it. Thank you for Pluto with this natural aspect right here. Or natural, what's that natural, the comfortable aspect, the trine. So this is why I also haven't been doing a lot of astrology, because I find that if I talk too much, I should only talk and provide information that's sufficient. I've been getting a lot of guidance messages recently stating it's like, just do what you can. Don't push. Just what you can. In other words, it all comes back to being present and knowing the body will tell you the truth. More than that, our essence, consciousness, will reveal itself. We'll get guidance from it. So all I have to do is listen. So in any case, I should listen right now, and it's telling me I'm talking too much. In any case, I hope that was sort of at least informative, but in any case, I'll see you guys later.